What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are here to talk about this Detroit Lions 34-11 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals, which was definitely the toughest loss that we've had this season. It was brutal, in the words of Dan Campbell. You got to go back to last year to see a game like this. So let's get it started.
Way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off, and we're going to stand up, and then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap, and we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing.
Welcome everybody to our video. Glad you guys are here. I'm sorry I did not go live yesterday for the game against the Bengals. I put a post out in the community. I also put it out on Instagram. You know, I was at the game. Shout out to my man Michael Banks. He hooked me up with a ticket to the game. He's like, all right, yeah, we got to go to the game. So we went. And it was definitely tough. And I did not do my takeaways last night. I wanted to, but man, I was tired. Plus, I think it did good to have like, you know, a day to kind of just like relax and then come back to it, watch the game again, take some notes, because I would have just been mad last night. I mean, let's be real. I would have just been mad. All right. So I was able to clear my head a little bit. There was some good. All right. So we're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to be live tonight on Last Second Sports. Oh, excuse me. For Last Second Dose on Last Second Sports. It's on Rad's channel. So make sure you guys go check us out. Probably 9:15. I'll put a post up in the community to the link to the video. So make sure you guys check us out tonight. We're going to give out some grades. We're going to have some fun. So make sure you get into the chat. Let us know what you thought about tonight's game in that show. All right. But let's talk about this game a little bit. All right. This was definitely the toughest. In the words of Campbell, it was brutal. It was ugly. Right now, if you did not see Dan Campbell's full presser after the game, like right after the game, not today's. Today's was fine. He gave us some good notes. But right after the game, that was a beautiful press conference. I mean, he gave us a good one after the Vikings game. He was emotional. It was tough. It was a hard loss. But this one, he was just mad. I don't think I've seen Dan Campbell like this. You see this Dan on the sidelines, right? You see him from time to time when they cut to him and when you look for him. But after a game, he was just mad. He was frustrated. And I just loved so many things that he was saying. He was just going at it. And I loved it. I just loved the emotion from Campbell. It was great. So I urge you to check it out. We'll probably even throw in some of his clips from that presser in this video.
That's a reflection on me. That's a reflection on me. You don't play like that. We don't have a team that is, you know, a team is not 30-something points better than us. There's no way. And, you know, they did. They played well over there. But we didn't execute. We didn't do. We talked about tempo. We come out. We go penalty. We go MA on offense.
I do want to do a quick little recap of the game before we start to get into the takeaways I have of this game. All right, quick little recap. It came out on the very first drive and had some mistakes that we would see carry out through the rest of the game, specifically offensively. We talk about all year shooting yourselves in the foot. This game was like a prime example of shooting yourselves in the foot, but to the point where it wasn't even like we could sustain a drive. It was that bad. We didn't even see those drives. It was just shutting ourselves down. Now, do the Bengals have a bad defense? No, they don't. This is one of the best run defenses that we've played so far this year, maybe the best run defense that we've played. All right. And for the first time this season, we pretty much had our run game basically shut down. I mean, it wasn't completely shut down. We had a couple of flash plays, but even the statistics that you see for Swift, a guy that averages 1.8 yards per carry in this game, that's terrible. We averaged 2 yards per carry as a team on 18 carries. All right. 2 of his biggest runs came on the very end. Had a couple of nice runs. You had like a 9-yard and a 5-yard run. Those were like 2 of your biggest runs. Aside from that, you really were basically shut down like we have not seen this year on the ground, which just made things even worse. But you want to talk about shooting yourselves in the foot. And some of these flags weren't even like, oh, it was holding. It was a face mask. It was just dumb mistakes. And they were on both sides of the ball. But offensively, it just started right out of the gate. All right, you come out, you get a first down. Little play action rollout, you hit your tight end, you get a first down. Okay, boom, we're into a rhythm. No. All right, you get a flag that moves you back. You lined up on T.J. Hockenson. What does that mean? I think it was Khalif Raymond. All right, T.J. Hockenson, of course, the tight end, he was on the line. And Khalif Raymond lined up on the line of scrimmage. So that's a flag. All right, so the first down was taken away. Now it's 2nd and 12. You compound that. 2nd and 12, it's tough. We know we are bad in 3rd and long situations. But 2nd and 12 is manageable because if you give me 5-6 yards, you can make this possible. Nope, you add on top of that, then a false start. Penei Sewell, right at the beginning, false start. So now we're in 2nd and 17, and we're in a terrible spot. You run the ball for a yard, you're in 3rd and 16, and we've seen pretty much all year, this is most likely not going to be picked up. And of course, it wasn't picked up. So that's how the game started. All right, you got a first down, you're like, okay, good start, bam. Nope, taken back, back-to-back penalties. Here's how you shoot yourself in the foot, just like this. And the first one is, both of them, I mean, neither of them were like, oh, it was a holding. It was a false start, which we've seen every week, and this got to stop happening. It's gotten a little bit better the last couple weeks, and then this week it just came right back, and then lining up on the tight end. Like, how do you do that? Defense played pretty darn well in the first half. But the first drive did not go so well. They moved down the field. They scored a touchdown. So it was 7-0 right at the beginning. But what I did like about the defense is that it was honestly less of our run defense. It was more of our pass defense, which surprisingly, I think has gotten better and better each week. Now I don't know how often we can really say this about a certain unit in the past that you can actually see them improving. But this secondary, a secondary that earlier we're talking about miscommunication, missed coverages, blown coverages. Second week of Jerry Jacobs starting. I thought he played well again this week. He gave up 2 big plays, which definitely hurt, specifically one before the half, which put them in field goal range. But the communication I thought was on point. Tracy Walker, he didn't have the same game that he had against Minnesota, but he played well. He missed an interception, which could have turned the tide for us, which would have been huge. But he made some plays in the back end. We were seeing the communication. Like the communication between Jerry Jacobs on A.J. Parker on one play in the red zone, I thought was just beautiful. Past the Lions have had struggles picking this up, especially in man coverage, but it was seamless. It was great communication. They passed it off so smooth, and it took away the route for Joe Burrow to throw. And I just thought the secondary overall, communication-wise, played much better because it really wasn't that our run defense was shutting down the Bengals in the first half and forcing them to pass. They actually ran the ball okay in the first half. We actually did pretty well against the pass. We had an interception by Amani Oruwariye. We had a couple plays by Jerry Jacobs. We had him blowing up a screen, which I thought was just beautiful. I mean, we made some plays in the back end, which was probably the most... The thing that I can look at and say, this is the thing that we can build on. This is the thing that we can take away that went well. That's probably the one thing I can take away from this game and say went well, is that we're seeing the improvement. Now, was it perfect? No. All right, the big play he gave it before half, Jerry stumbles a little bit trying to cover Jamar Chase, who was a lot of times his matchup, and he gave it up, gave the field goal. And the second time was in the second half, we were really just trying to sell it to stop the run because of the score, the situation. We had no safety over top, so we had no help. We only had one safety deep, and he got beat. He did get back to the play, made the tackle, but that's how we give the second big completion. And, you know, every team's kind of giving up those this year. But look, I thought Jalen struggled a lot in this game, run defense, coverage. I thought, you know, Mixon made a miss a few times. Here he is at the bottom getting beat. This is the first touchdown that we gave up in this game, and this one was just pretty much wide open. But even plays like this, I mean, I just like how much the Lions were on top of this. You have Dean Marlowe. Look at them work on the tight end over the middle. 2 guys helping each other. Marlowe's not in a bad spot here. It's just it's a really good ball by Joe Burrow, first off. You know, but this wasn't a bad play. A lot of times this just runs wide open, you know, against the Lions in the past. But I thought this was good that at least everybody, you know, was matched up. Nobody was free. Now, this last play that I'm going to show you, there was a guy free. And I get it. You're down by like 27 at this point. But at the same time, you still need to stay locked in. All right, got the backup quarterback in. No one accounts for Tate. I don't even know who has Tate on this play. He slides in, so Amani passes him off, but I don't think he ever communicated with anybody that, hey, take Tate. So no one took him. Maybe this is Barnes' guy. I'm assuming it's Barnes' guy. I don't know who this is, but either way, this is wide open, and this is one of those, you know, things that we really weren't seeing a ton of these communication errors, but here at the end, you know, you still got to stay locked in. You still got to fight to the very end. These are problems that you just can't have. The run game was just not there in this game, and that's like the first time we've really seen that. I think in a lot of these games we've seen the Lions have were at least able to run the football, and then they find some flow offensively, and what's killed them is they're not capitalizing. They get to the red zone, they get across the 50, they get in scoring range, and whether that's because of a missed fourth down, a turnover, a flag, something takes us out of that spot, and then all of a sudden we don't get points. But we're moving the ball. We saw it against the Vikings a little bit. We saw more against Chicago, who had a good defense. We were moving the ball. This week, they actually really stopped our run game, and we became kind of one-dimensional, especially when we knew we were down by 17, and it was bad. This is the worst rush game performance we've had. You know, I could point to a couple guys. I thought Matt Nelson definitely struggled. He just isn't getting a push when they run to his side. Some missed blocks here and there, but they really did do a good job of stopping a run, and we weren't able to get that push that we were looking for. We had a couple of nice design plays. I like the end around that we got the Swift. Sewell made a great block out there. Hodge gave us a good block, but you come on your second drive and you have a no-yard run, then you hit a screen, which goes for no yards to TJ Hawkinson. You're in that 3rd and 10 situation where we've had issues, and the Lions clearly made it clear that they were trying to hit Hawkinson this week. On that 3rd and 10, they hit Hawkinson over the middle, and he was just short. We've had issues on 3rd and long for multiple reasons. You know, first off, Goff doesn't have the biggest arm. He's not super athletic. We've talked about this. Your O-line struggles, so you're not protecting that long. You don't really have separators in the back end. So you have multiple issues on why you're struggling on 3rd and long, but we struggle on 3rd and long. So you get yourself in back-to-back situations like that, and of course, it doesn't go well. Then your 3rd drive, which comes off the Amani interception, all right? And by the way, Tracy Walker, like, these are the things that you just can't do. I understand the excitement. So I'm not extremely mad at this one because, okay, I get it. He made the play. He made the big hit. He thinks he jarred it loose. He didn't see the interception. But still, you can't have these flags where after the play you get a 15-yard penalty. You just can't do that because instead of heading the ball to 25, now we're backed up to the 40. All right, but that didn't really hurt our offense because it was just a mistake that hurt our offense. But either way, those kind of things, you just can't do that. Our defense makes a play. Okay, we're only down 7-0. Our offense struggled the first 2 drives. We're only down 7-0. You get a sack on first down, which the Lions try to pull DJ Hawkinson across the field, and they have him one-on-one with Trey Hendrickson. Just a disaster from the start. And Dan Campbell, talked about trying to get into a rhythm, and we just never did offensively, which we're going to talk into when we get into the second half. And we didn't, we got to take some of those underneath routes because, protection like that, that's tough. That's tough to hold up on. So we take the sack. But even then, 2nd and 20, they get some pressure. Goff's able to step up, and he hits a pass to St. Brown. A deep pass to St. Brown, and it was nice. And all of a sudden, it turns into an interception. Like, plays like that, you just don't see across the league that often. Somehow, this ball was picked off. It was, like, jarred out of his hands before he's able to land on the ground. It was the weirdest thing I've seen. I still think it should have been called down because I didn't think it was clear and obvious enough to say, yeah, we can overturn this. But they did. Shooting yourselves in the foot. Another great example there. Shutting down a drive where we definitely should have had points. And I would say, if you want to say one thing that you could take away well offensively, is that Goff didn't fumble when he got sacked. That's something. Okay, no. But in all honesty, though, it is important that Goff did protect the football on a few of these. And, I know it sounds like a little win, but you take them because this was an issue. And they had some opportunities. This 4th drive, we actually moved the ball. And I think we started to see a little bit of tempo on this drive, specifically on that 3rd down pass, which fell incomplete. But Campbell talked about today going forward to possibly seeing more tempo. I think we need tempo in our offense. And I think we're going to see it this week. And I actually think it's going to work well for us. And we'll talk about why. But this drive kind of just stalls out. You had the pass to Hawkinson, which is a missed pass. And Goff talked about after the game, he was like, I thought he was going to be in a different spot.
Yeah, there's some guys that MA too, and he's trying to make a throw with guys that are MAing. And so he can't even trust where the hell they're supposed to be at. So I'm with you. I don't mean to get upset. Yeah, so yeah, look, he's got to make some throws, and then our receivers got to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. And we can't mess around, but I know. I know.
You have Campbell after the game who's upset. He's talking about players not being where they're supposed to be. They're going MA. They're just not doing what they're supposed to do, and they're not being in the right spot where you can trust him for the play design. So maybe that was an example. I'm not sure. Then on 4th and 4, you get some pressure. Goff throws it away. He had a brain lapse thinking that, if I throw it away, we're going to put it anyway. Instead of thinking that, wait, hold up, this is 4th down. They're just going to decline the call. So that, messed him up. But I think, maybe this was another example of those plays. You had Swift, first off, who was wide open after checking. I mean, you talk about the Lions' protection plans, and they had a few, I thought, in this game. I thought there was some protection plan that they did implement this week. They knew they had to. They played a lot of tight end in line. They played a lot of running back there to at least chip block. They tried to have the receivers play tight to the formation, chip block, do something. They tried these pass protection plans, which ultimately is going to make routes take a little bit longer to develop, especially those ones closer to the line, because you're doing things to slow down the rush. But you had to do these things because after last week, you saw that you cannot pass protect. Simple as it is. That's why I was like, man, we need Decker back, and I'm still on that train. We really need this dude back. We had to do things like this to help. And on 4th and 4, you see Hodge, who kind of, fake chip blocks like he didn't need to, throws off where he could have just drug across the middle, and then it would have been a way easier look, and that wasn't there. Hawkinson wasn't open, and Goff never came back and got to his check down. Look at the positive here, that it's good the Lions had a game like this. It's not good that they didn't run the ball well, but it is good that they had a game where they couldn't really lean on the run game. And the reason I say that is because, first off, you can look back and learn, okay, why couldn't we run the football in this game? Obviously, they had to go away from it a little bit when they came out of the half and the Bengals scored a touchdown, which put us down 17-0. I mean, our defense played well in the first half. Out of the gates in the second half, they allowed a couple of scores, and I think on the first 2 drives, they scored 10 points, and all of a sudden we're down 20-0. But we were down 17-0 because the defense gave up a touchdown coming right out of half, and it came on a 4th down play where the Lions were lined up to stop the run, 4th and 1. And look, the run game for the Bengals, it was working all game. The Lions were just making those key crucial plays to get off the field. On 3rd down, they were bringing the right pressure. They had Julian Okwara on a free rush on the sack that he had on a 3rd and short, and he wasn't even blocked, but we only brought 4 guys. We saw the Lions bring multiple 3-man rush sets this week. A lot of 3-man rushes. If you watch the game back, Lions did a lot more than I thought they would. They mixed a lot of that in, trying to mix up coverages, disguise things, confuse Joe Burrow, and it worked. The game plan I thought was great, but they were still running the ball pretty well against us. This is a good rushing team. They ran the ball pretty well against us. So the Lions sold out to stop the run. And they hit us with a play fake. There was nobody out there. And they scored a huge touchdown on that and around 17-0. And then we start leaning away from the run game a little bit. And we can't lean on this run game. Like I said, in past weeks, we've been able to lean on the run game. And we've had enough success there. We've been able to move the ball, usually down the field. We didn't always capitalize when we had opportunities to score. We'd have mistakes still that we still got to clean up. But at the same time, we were able to move the ball. This week, we did not. We were not able to move the ball leaning on the run game. One thing that I know about Campbell, and I know about this coaching staff, is that they say something that's going to be coming, it happens. Everything that they said is like, hey, we're going to try this or we're going to try that. The very next game or the next time that you see them on the field, they are going to try that. So they don't just say things and then like, all right, it didn't ever happen. This going to happen. And we had it heard coming in this week. We could see more tempo because of where the players were with the playbook. And we saw it in this week's game. We really saw it come out of the second half. And today, in Dan Campbell's presser today, his media presser, he talked about that he thinks that we may need to use some more tempo and just kind of experiment with things. He talked about experimenting with different personnel, different playing styles, offensively, and just a way to find some rhythm. And I think the Lions had to experiment. Coming out of the half, Dan Campbell apparently told reporters that he was coming out and he's going to play up tempo to try to get back into this game and find some rhythm. And the Lions came out in the second half and did just that. When he talks about personnel, I don't really know with some of these options where you go. Matt Nelson's been struggling. I don't know where you go for Matt Nelson. The only way you get Matt Nelson off the field is if Taylor Decker comes back. And I think that would be huge. And I think we need that because Penny Sewell showed again, I think in this game, he can run block. Pass rush just had some issues. And if we could just put help on his side and not have to worry about the other side, we'd be in such a better spot offensively. Right now, we have to worry about both tackles. And that continued again this week. And that continues to be a problem. It's back from being able to be consistently looking for explosive plays. We might get one or two here or there. But even in this game, those explosive plays, they really didn't mount into anything. The first one turned into an interception, which was just weird. And then the next one went to TJ Hawkinson. Now, this was a nice explosive play. Took us to about midfield. We're down by 20, sure, but we're still in the third quarter. It's the end of the third quarter. We're moving the football. Okay, let's get some points here. We score a touchdown. Head into the fourth, down 13. You got a chance with how your defense has been playing. But that doesn't happen because your offense makes a couple of those mistakes that we've seen. You go to that up tempo, you throw a screen, you gain 2 yards on the play. I mean, you have Hawkinson. No one takes the defender that's sliding down. Matt Nelson's too slow to get out there. So you have a free, basically, defender on Kadero Hodge who gets about a yard or two. The next play, you have Jamal Williams wide open over the middle. You hit Jamal Williams and he drops it. Those are things that we just can't have with the type of offense that we're playing. And especially in this game, when you can't lean on the run game, now you have to find a way to be consistent in the pass game. This is where Dan Campbell's looking to say, hey, we got to find a way to get a rhythm. And even though it didn't lead to necessarily points, if you watch the game back, coming out of half, the Lions went right into no huddle. They went right into up-tempo. And Dan Campbell said, if that means going no huddle, if that means a one-word play call, we're just fast up to the line after every play. And obviously, you kind of replace the run game that was struggling with some of these short range passes. The Lions weren't sending out deep routes because they were just trying to get these quick 4 to 5 yards. Make the catch, no flags, up tempo, let's get 4 to 5 yards each play. The Lions haven't had the protection where you can rely upon them holding up long enough where you can hit some of those shots consistently. So, a lot of the plays you have these short underneath routes. And the 2 shots they had in this game, you did nothing with it. You get to 3rd and 1. You go out of the shotgun and you hand it off and you don't get the first down. That didn't end their drive. Lions were going to go for it on 4th down. We're going to snap the football. I mean, you had guys pulling, but Jordan Jackson jumps. You get a delay, you get a false start, and now you're punting again, right? And you could see Dan Campbell on the sideline visibly just angry. I mean, he was just mad at his team, and it was kind of one of those sarcastic, yeah, come off the field, come on, because you guys aren't doing your job. You can't move it. And like Campbell said, he doesn't believe we can accurately right now evaluate Jared Goff with the way the rest of the offense is playing, but he thinks Goff needs to make more plays. And Goff does need to make more plays. I mean, there are certain plays out there where Goff, he's not elevating.
How do you judge your quarterback when the offensive line missing 2 guys, receiving room keeps being shuttled in and out? Can you judge your quarterback harshly with everything that's going on?
Yeah, look, I think I will say this. I still don't feel like we can accurately judge him one way or another. I don't feel that way yet. Now, I will say this. I feel like he needs to step up more than he has, and I think he needs to help us, just like everybody else. And I think he's going to need to put a little bit of weight on his shoulders here, and it's time to step up, make some throws, and do some things. And but he needs help. He needs help, you know. And look, I told him out there, he knows this, but some of that stuff, we're getting these holding calls. Well, it's because he's drifting back in the pocket 10 yards deep. That's not fair to those guys either. And if you hang on to the ball, so it's like I told you, this is a collective effort now. Everything goes hand in hand. But I want to see him step up. I do, because I think he can do it.
Goff isn't hiding mistakes for this team, all right? That's how I would say it. He can flow when the offense flows. You know, when things are flowing, and things can go well. But at the same time, he's not going to elevate and hide necessarily issues with your team. Young, he's still developing. Stafford could hide a little bit of those issues. Goff isn't necessarily going to hide those issues. At least right now, he's not at that level yet where he's able to do that. And remember, when Stafford was this age, he wasn't hiding the issues, you know, with our team, right? I mean, he had 17 interceptions when he was 26 years old. I think Dan Campbell just said it perfectly here, right? He needs to step up and he has to help us. You know, he's got to elevate because even though he's only 26, this is about that age, right, where, hey, you got that big payday. Okay, the Rams gave you some money. Now you got to start, okay, living up to that because you are getting paid that money. You're not a rookie quarterback. You're not on a rookie deal anymore. All right, I understand it's a new offense, but you got to help us. We're paying you like a top half quarterback in football, like a top 10 quarterback. I think if you look at his salary, you have to help us hide some of these issues that we have. But at the same time, and this is why I think Decker will be huge, everybody needs to, because right now it's just a mess.
It has nothing to do with Jared. That's not true, E. That's not true. But what I'm saying is I don't put this all on Jared Goff. This is a collective. This is collective offensively for everything from how can we help schematically to, man, are we man at the improper time? Are the guys getting open? Is he making the throw he should? Is he making the right read? So this is a collective, believe me, this is a collective effort offensively that we're digging ourselves into a ditch with offensively. To me, this was a collective effort offensively. This is not, you can't blame one person there. Just like, you know, I know maybe you think it's easy to just throw it out and for me to blame it on myself. Look, I gave they heard plenty from me in there. But the bottom line, and that is the truth, is that I didn't help them. I didn't help them prepare for this game properly or help our coaches help them prepare properly. So, yeah, they got a hand in it, and we'll be evaluating them, but everybody's going to be evaluated as well.
At the same time, they have to find a way then, okay, with what we have, where we are, because right now, I mean, personnel, what other option are you going to with their offensive line aside from Decker coming back? What other options are you able to go to? So I think this up-tempo will actually work because I think we saw on that drive to Hawk, we saw some up-tempo. I think the tempo worked. Of course, the end of the game it worked because they were playing different, but they still played some man. We still moved the ball. I think the up-tempo actually will work because some of these mental mistakes, these dumb killing penalties, you know, we're trying to line up, we're trying to play, you know, this slow game, we're trying to control time of possession, guys are lining up wrong, false starts to like these things. I think, you know, you're thinking too much. I think some of these, you know, up tempo, just go up there and snap it. You can't really think about it. You just got to play. And that actually may help this offense to just find some kind of rhythm. And they may have to come out next week and just start like that. You don't have to do it all game, but that just may be a way to spark this offense because if you get up tempo, you know, there's other ways then to move the football down the field. And that may be the way the Lions just have to mix it up to try to find some kind of spark, to try to ignite this offense, try to find some rhythm offensively, complete a couple passes in a row, get a big chunk play, get the defense offset, okay? The Lions right now, they're just making too many mistakes, too many errors for them to play the kind of style that they're trying to play. And we can't just sit out there and do the same thing. And that's something that frustrated me in the past with our offense, is that it seemed like we always did the same thing. Remember when Stafford was there, it was like, man, every time we go to 2-minute drills, things work. We never really went to that in a game with Matthew. Remember, we never really went to that and said, let's just try it. This coaching staff that I'm very excited about is saying, hey, we're willing to say, you know what, let's just try it. Because what we're doing right now ain't working. And if we want to just sit here and continue to do the same thing, whatever. But we're 0-6. We have to try something new to try to figure out what we can do. Because we are where we are right now. Right? This is what we got. Yes, that coming back will help, but you can't rely upon that. We are who we are. We got what we got. Let's try to figure it out. Made some plays in the backfield, and, you know, we weren't great against the run. We weren't awful against the run either. But in the second half, our defense kind of fell apart. And it seemed like they were just able to say, okay, we're just going to run the football because of where the score is. We're going to just lean on this run game. And the Lions could not find a way to, you know, get enough negative plays to blow it up. In the second half against the run, I thought sometimes we just weren't honed in. We missed some opportunities. The one big cutback Mixon had, Charles Harris forced it back, but Dean Marlowe, he took the wrong angle and just overran the backside contain, which would have been a loss of a couple yards. Then we had a missed tackle in the back behind the line of scrimmage by Amani Oruwariye from the cornerback position. We had a couple of those just missed opportunities opportunities where we could have forced some negative plays in the second half. So, we slide the safety up, and Jerry Jacobs gets beats deep because they're sliding the safety up and trying to help stop that run game. A lot of teams have done that. You look at the Packers, they did the same thing. They slid their safeties up to about the sticks, and that's why they gave up a couple big plays. Say if there's something to really take away, though, to be optimistic about, it's his coaching staff. And the reason I say that is, starting on the defense side of the ball, when you look at the defensive coaching, we weren't great at stopping the run, right? But you see a lot of situational downs that this continues week in, week out. The Lions are finding a way to get off the field. It's great play calls. It's mixing up coverages. It's 3-man rush, 5-man rush, 6-man rush, 4, and it's all over the place. And the quarterback doesn't know what's coming, right? He's guessing. He's not sure what's coming at him from down to down. It's keeping them off balance. Coaching-wise, we are getting our guys in possible situations to make plays, right? The turnovers are there. I mean, consistently, we're saying like week in and week out, we force the turnover. Interceptions. Amani's got 3 picks this year. He's got 3 picks this year. That's something to be excited about, some of the plays that we're making and opportunities. And we've had many more that we're just missing, but we have a lot of opportunities. A drop pick by Tracy, a possible miss pick from Jerry Jacobs in this game, a forced fumble by Jerry Jacobs that Jalen couldn't take it away from the running back. There's opportunities our defense is presenting, which is very, very exciting. Communication is getting better. You're not seeing those huge communication lapses, I think, like we've seen. At least maybe not in this game because he didn't get the big moments, but I think it's definitely getting better, right? Jerry Jacobs is looking like he could be a legit, helpful outside cornerback going forward. There's things to be optimistic about with this coaching staff on the defense side of the ball and the improvements that we're seeing out of these guys. And when you throw it to the offense, I would say this. It's to be determined at this point, but this coaching staff is not being, or Dan Campbell starts with him first, not being so stubborn. They say, no, this is our offense. This is how we do it. If it don't work, it's all the players. No, he's not being stubborn like that. He's saying, look, this is who we are, this is what we have, and this is the result that we're getting. 0 points until the fourth quarter. That's not okay. I don't care who our linemen are. I don't care who our receivers are. That's not okay. This is the National Football League. Like Campbell said, there is no team in the NFL that's 30 points better than us. This is not okay, right? This is a butt whooping. If Decker comes back, and maybe a receiver comes back like a Tyrell, all of a sudden this run game's popping again. Time you're protecting Goff, you're giving him time, we're making plays, and you want to go back to this offense that we've seen, go for it, man. If that's what works. But right now, until that happens, until we see that, and you can experiment. If Decker comes back this week, play the offense you want to play. If it doesn't work, you got to show that you're willing to adjust. And then maybe the up-tempo. Right? So at least showing the willingness to, hey, this ain't working. We're going to try something new. We just got to at least try it, see what happens. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But we're going to learn from it. We're going to try new things. We're not just going to be stubborn, sit here and say, it doesn't work, this stinks, but we're going to keep just doing it because this is what it is. Nah, we can't have stubborn coaches like that. So if there's one thing to be excited about, it's excited about these coaches because they're willing to make change every week and they're willing to say, hey, look, this does not work. Let's not keep doing the same exact thing. And every time they say it, they have done it. When they said that Derek Barnes deserves a shot, they put Jamie Collins on the trade block. When they said Jacobs deserves a shot, Jacobs became the starter. When they said they could go more up-tempo, we went up-tempo this week. When they say things, we see it, okay? They wanted to get Goff more outside the pocket. He's been getting outside the pocket. So they're going to try these things, and that's what's excited to be about with this coaching staff, is to be excited for the staff, and be excited because if our defense can do things like they've been doing, right? I mean, this was an awful defense last year, right? Awful defense. Worse than football. Worse than Lions history. The way that they've been making some plays defensively, if you can just get this game offense going at all, I mean, we could have won 2 games and our offense wasn't even really going for most of it, right? We scored 17 points and we should have won those 2 games. If you get them going at all of a sudden, man, this could look completely different. So those are the 2 things I would say take with you to be optimistic about going forward. And we'll talk about it more individually tonight on Last Second Dose, Last Second Sports. Yeah, Last Second Sports for Last Second Dose. Lock in. And Campbell said mentally, we weren't there. You got to lock in, man. I mean, the false starts are crazy. It's 4th and 1. You know you're going for it. Why do you have a false start? TJ Hawkinson, a leader of this team. You go in motion and you still jump. How do you do that? And I almost think that some of the tempo will help because you're going to stop thinking. You're just going to be playing. Okay, let's go. Snap, go, let's go. You're going to be playing, flying around. Yeah, you may make some mistakes, but at least then it will take more out of their head. I think right now it almost seems like guys are maybe just thinking too much. They're overthinking it. You got a lot of young players and they're trying to think, what do I need to do? Where do I need to go? Where's the snap count? And they're messing things up. They're thinking too much. There's too much in their head. And you can just make it a lot simpler. Like Campbell said, 1-word play call and let's go. And to take away our run game, we have to be able to go to something. You can't just be, oh, they took away a run, it's game over. You have to figure out something else that you can go to. And maybe another way to find to spark your offense is find to spark your run game. And yeah, it was towards the end of the game, but we sparked the run game a little bit when we started, going to the up tempo. So I like the idea to try something new. I think it has to happen offensively. You have to try something new. And look, everybody played bad. I mean, it's not like, hey, this guy played well, but, everybody played bad. The O-line was not good. Goff was not good, all right? Running backs, they probably weren't that good. Receiver, no one played well. The All-22 will help us, but it was bad. And when Campbell was asked, hey, what did the offense do well? He's like, not much. I mean, it made me laugh, but that's the truth. It just was not that good in this game. And I think mixing it up it's going to be important to try something new, to just try to find some kind of rhythm, just any kind of rhythm to get going early and just get some confidence instilled in your players and just let them think less, play more. I mean, we talked about it defensively when Patricia was here. Hey, we're going to take some things out of the playbook. The offense might have to do this right now. Decker will make a huge difference. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you he will. And I'm telling you, once Decker plays, the offense is going to look much different. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching. We'll be live tonight, and I'm out.